You know, so often when you see a final product of an entrepreneur, we tend to look at them and say, man, he or she made it because they're so amazing at this, they're so amazing at that, they're so amazing at this. But we look at ourselves and say, I can't make it because I'm terrible at this, terrible at that, terrible at this. But the challenge is when you look at this person, you know, we don't see the comeback they have to make. I guarantee you, whoever gets to the top of the mountain on any spectrum, especially in business, they had to overcome a lot of things. So today I want to talk to the people that maybe have hit rock bottom, you've hit a plateau, you lost everything, you filed a bankruptcy, a bad relationship, bad marriage, you lost everything you had, and you no longer feel like you have what it takes to come back. I want to talk to you today. I'm speaking to you today. I'm going to talk about 8 things you got to do to make a comeback, because I remember for myself when I had rock bottom, I remember the day, I talked about it this morning on a conference call. I remember how painful it was. I remember what it was all about. I remember a painful day for me that I just told myself I'll never do this again. It's very similar to a bad breakup. When somebody breaks your heart, which I believe is one of the most important things to ever happen to anybody, you gotta have your heart shattered at one point of your life, my opinion, because it teaches you a lot. And the sooner it happens in your life, the better it is. Sometimes when it happens too late, we don't know how to recover from it. But it's like a relationship. You know how sometimes we're in a relationship and that person, you know, hurts you, cheats on you, lies, you know, breaks up, leaves you for your best, whatever it is. When that happens, a lot of times we come out of that relationship and we say, you know, he's a liar, he's a this, he's a that, he's the worst person, she's the most terrible person in the world, and I will never date another person again. I will never do this. I'm going to be by myself for the rest of my life. And we know it's a lie, but because we're hurt, right? Business is similar. And the challenge, like in a relationship, is you've gone a year, 2 years, 3 years with this person. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to date another person and have to learn they have to learn my irks and my things that I do, that I need to go through that process. Same goes with business. This is why very, 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 very few people make a comeback after 1 failure, 2 failure, 3 failures. Very few people make it because they know what it takes to come back and have to take it to that level again. They don't want to do that. This is why most people, if they knew, I'm going to speak to you right now before I get into these 8 points. If most people knew what it took to build a multi-million dollar business, very few people would actually start a business. Very few people would actually start a business. But let me give you the complete opposite side as well. If most people knew what it felt like, what it feels like when you finally build it and you have the success, and you look at the product and you say, my gosh, I cannot believe what I built, I guarantee you people would be 10 times more urgent about making it happen. But most people are afraid of the work they got to put in. Most people are. You're watching this right now. You're telling yourself, I don't know if I want to go. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't do this? Just listen to it and see what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, to make a comeback, there's a lot of great feelings when you do make a comeback, if you do. But this is why, guys, you know, credit's got to be given to people who do make a comeback. That's why there are heroes. You know, that's why heroes are made, because most people are not willing to do what heroes and legends want to do. Most people don't want to go through the challenging times. They'd rather live a life of an average life and just make it a simple life. And whether you agree with this or not, most people are trying to take the easy route, and it doesn't exist. So let me talk about the comebacks. Okay. And I'm not going to give you the motivational talk. You can do it. You can. This is not the motivational comeback. This is there'll be an emotional side too, but it's more of the logical side. Point number 1. First of all, find out why you failed in the first place. First thing you got to do. Find out why you failed in the first place. Why did you fail? Okay? And just like in a relationship, many times we can say, well, she did this, well, he did this. No one cares. The only thing you need to find out is what you did wrong. Forget about what that person did wrong. It's irrelevant. No one cares. In the world of free enterprise, the world of free enterprise has this much feelings for your emotions. This much. It does not care how you feel. It truly doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if it hurts you, if you lost all your money, you lost your credit, nothing. I've had the worst credit in the world. I've had a 484 credit. I've lost the love of my life. I've lost relationships. I've lost my car. I've lost everything I had. I've gone through it and no one cares. And I had to regroup and take out a pen and paper and write down, why did I fail in the first place? And here's what you'll find out. Okay, so you make the list of things you control. Generally, I like to make the list of things I control. Once I started making money, I got casual. Well, that's a problem. I stopped paying attention to the money, and all of a sudden I realized we didn't have as much money in the bank as I thought we did, so I couldn't make payroll. I had to fire 2 people, then boom, I couldn't make the business work because the person I fired was very important and I went out of business. Yeah, I went and got a big office and I couldn't afford to rent because after 3 months we went by our savings and then I was late 1 month, 2 months, 3 months of rent, and then we had to shut down the office, and I don't know if I want to do it again, right? But it goes back to figuring that part out, because we're so concerned about our emotions and our feelings in the world of business, yet we're such big fans of sports that we don't realize great coaches like Popovich, great coaches like, you can go through a list of them, Phil Jackson, you can go through a list of them with Pat Riley and Belichick. They study videos. They study video and they go back and say, I studied the video. And they show, here's what we did wrong. This is why we didn't win the Super Bowl last year. And we don't like to do that as entrepreneurs. We don't even want to bring this because I don't want to think about this. No, it makes me feel negative. That's what athletes have to do to win the Super Bowl, with hundreds of millions of people around the world watching them fail or succeed. And you're worried about going back to your field because your emotions hurt. You got to do that. You got to man up and woman up and say, this is what I did wrong. And play the video. I was asked a question this morning on a conference call. Hey, Pat, why is it that you're so, the way people talk, you're so chill and you're so that, but you still give the feedback and you don't hold back, but there's a certain sense of humbleness. Why is that? I said, what do you mean? I said, why do you have that part? I said, maybe because I failed miserably early on and it hurt. And there's a level of paranoia that I don't want that to happen again. I live in America. People ask, why are you so paranoid about the freedom in America? Because I lived in a country that was free. Boom, it was completely gone. The next day we had to escape and run away from that country. And that was Iran. So what do you mean, why are you so afraid? There's a certain benefit you get if you failed. You make a better leader later on if you have failed in life. If you have some setbacks, it makes for a tougher, stronger person to follow because people know where you're coming from. So this is actually a very good thing that you have to make a comeback because people will listen to you more. That's point number one. Point number one is find out why you failed in the first place. Go through the list and what can you do differently about it. Number two, realize that you're not as bad as you think you are and you're not as good as you think you are. When you have a lot of success, people think they're better than they really are. You're not. When people fail, people think they're worse than they are. And you're not. You're generally in the middle. Don't let people fool you into thinking you're incredible. And don't let people fool you thinking you're horrible. You're in the middle. Be very, stay in the equilibrium. Stay in the middle. Stay right here. Just like in politics, far left is not good, far right isn't good. Independent middle is generally good because you can process everything. It also is in life. It also is about your skill set, abilities. You can go down in the gutter, and no one wants to do business with somebody that's down in the gutter. And no one wants to do business with somebody who's so cocky that they think they know it all. People are entertained by that. But man, it gets very annoying and it gives birth to way too many enemies when you behave from this standpoint all the time. You're generally here. Number three, be prepared for crap to hit the fan again. Be prepared for crap to hit the fan again. It's going to, but be prepared this time. Okay, in a world of boxing, if you got knocked out once before, well, keep your guard up. You kept your guard down because you thought you'd never get knocked out. You got to keep it up, right? If you got knocked out here because you realize, you got hit, you couldn't breathe anymore, maybe your cardio is not good. You got to get back into cardio. You got to get your abs stronger. If you got up here, you thought your chin was real solid because you can hang. Maybe you've never faced a fighter like this before. So have a little bit of paranoia, be a little bit more paranoid because crap's going to hit the fan. But this time, because you're overly paranoid and you're overly prepared, it doesn't happen. And if it does, it's like, dust off and you're good, you move on. It's not disaster where you go out of business. Number four, don't back off too much. Let me tell you what I mean by don't back off too much when you want to make a comeback. When my son was 18 months old, Tico, he's an incredible swimmer now. The kid swims at 22 months, 21 months. He was swimming in the pool all by himself. When he was 18 months old, he was swimming once and he fell. And I was there, and when he was underwater, he started panicking. But he fell, and I went in there and I got him, and he came out. He was panicking, screaming, shouting. And his mom, my wife, took him out. And they're like, no, let's not put him in the water. Let's not put him in the water. Let's not put him in the water. And all I thought about is, man, if you get hit in the face, you got to get back. You got to get hit again. You got to hit. You just got to get back in the ring again. You just do. It's just one of those things. A pilot goes up, something happens, you crash, eject, whatever. You got to get back up immediately. It's a rule in Air Force. You got to get the guy back up immediately, or else that stays forever, because the longer it lasts, the longer the fear becomes real. It's inside of you. So I took Tico out, my son. I said, son, come on in. We went by the pool. He was absolutely panicking. No! I said, hold me. He was squeezing me. So we went in the water and we were in the shallow. And I just said, hey, it's okay. He was just hugging me and we're going back and we're not swimming, not pushing him off, nothing. He's just in the water. No! After about 30 seconds, 1 minute, no. I said, it's okay, Daddy's right here. It's okay, Pop. It's okay, Pop, tap, tap, tap. It's okay, Pop. It's okay, Pop, tap, tap, tap. Okay. I said, Tico, yeah, Daddy, do you think you can swim to the other side? No. Okay, why don't you hold me? I'll swim. Okay, so he holds me, I swim. We're in the water a little bit more, and all of a sudden he lets go. And he swims again. And now you can't stop the kid from swimming. He loves swimming. When you have a setback as an entrepreneur, get back in the ring again, man. Do not get off. Don't get off. Don't get out of the ring. Get back right into it. It's right in that moment. You know, when you're just like in sales, if you got a rejection, go back out again. Somebody says no, go out immediately. Don't let that brain, dwell too much on a no for 12 hours. I don't like a no to dwell on my mind for 10 seconds. Just like a basketball player shoots, they leave on a made shot. Basketball, they're superstitious, but they don't leave on a missed shot from practice. They leave on a made shot, right? They leave on a made. You got to do the same as an entrepreneur. You got to get back out there, or else it'll stay with you, and you'll never be able to make it as an entrepreneur because there's always that hesitation in the back of your mind that you're not going to go out there and play an offense. Now, point number five is similar to point number 4, but the complete opposite message of it. It's, don't back off too much, which is point number 4, and get back into it again. But number 5 is, don't stop dating and get back in the field, but just don't get married too quickly. Yeah, I see a lot of relationships where, a guy calls me and a buddy calls me and says, Pat, I found my wife. We're going to get married. Like, no, you don't understand. This is my wife. And on their 3rd date, they're already talking about marriage. Look, I hear the stories of all this. Oh, it's on our 2nd that we got married. For every one of those stories, there's 50 divorces. Just so you know that. Just telling you this. Slow. So when you're going back into dating, especially if the breakup is early, just go slowly and, kind of figure it out and get into it. In business, when you're getting back into it, you got to get back into the ring quickly. But you don't want to just say, yes, this is what I'm doing. Look for some things. Go through the whole thing. Find out why you made the mistakes in the first place. Which one was on you and how can you fix that? You're not as bad as you think. You're not as good as you think. You'll be prepared for crap to hit the fan. So this time, ask more questions. Do some research. Find out what's going on. Meet the executive. Meet the leader. Find out more about who you're going into business with. Find out. Do that. Get back into it. But before you get married, do your due diligence before you marry. Get back into the dating scene. But don't get married immediately. Assess your situation before you do that. Next, very simple. Failure doesn't necessarily define you. It's very simple. Don't let failure define you. It's more how you respond to it than an actual event. It's really how you respond to it that makes people really find out eventually who you are, what you've done in your life. Point number 7 is, seek counsel from the right source. Pretty simple. Get the right source of somebody who who was in your situation like that and they came out of it. And point number 8 is very simple for me. Read comeback stories. I like to watch comeback movies. Read comeback stories. There's plenty of them. Howard Schultz and Steve Jobs were both fired and let go. Dr. Seuss was turned down by 27 different publishers until finally somebody accepted him and he sold 600 million copies of books. But at some point, somebody didn't accept him. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, they didn't pick her up. She was on welfare, single mother, by herself, doing everything. And they rejected her, I don't know how many 30 times with her books. #1 selling book in the world ever. Harry Potter sold 700 million copies around the world. She's the first female billionaire around the world as an author. How did that happen? I mean, I can go on and on and on with these stories. It's not just one of them. There are so many of these stories for us to go through. And as simple as it sounds, you have no idea how much that helps you out when you get that source of inspiration, when you hit rock bottom. Because the reality part of it is, and I'm going to tell you this, and you can do whatever you want to do with this. Listen, there is a reason why we respect successful entrepreneurs so much. Because very few of them make it. There's a reason for that. Remember that. That's an opportunity for you. Very, very few entrepreneurs make it to the highest level. Very few of them do. Because it's not easy. It's not something that, It's simple, but it's not, because sometimes in the mind is playing so many tricks. And do I want to get back into it again? And I know what it takes to do the work. Do I want to do the work? Do I just want to settle? Man, I don't know if I want to do this again. I don't want to go through this again. But it's the fruits of your labor come when you're in the arena. It doesn't happen when you're out there just watching the arena. You can choose to be a fan and a spectator for the rest of your life. But deep down inside, you want to be in the arena, in the fight, in the war, in the battle, with everybody else watching you in it, competing, fighting, throwing stuff at you, booing you. Go for it. You can do it. You suck. You're terrible. You're the worst I've ever seen. But you're in the arena. At least you have the guts to roll up your sleeves and go out there and fight. See, that's the juice. That's the juice of life. And when you do make a comeback, when you make a comeback, what do you think your kids are going to talk about for the rest of their lives? My dad came back. My mom's a fighter. My husband's a fighter. My wife's a fighter. There becomes a certain level of respect and admiration that you're going to want to experience. It becomes a certain level of admiration and respect you want to experience, because I've said this so many times, when the time comes where everybody's there at our funeral and we're on our deathbed, you're going to remember these moments where nobody thought you could do it and you really didn't feel like doing it. You did not want to do it. Logic told you don't do it. Emotion told you, man, you do not want to live with regrets. Go make it happen. And you did. That's when we leave this planet and we go wherever we go after we die. Heaven, you want to call it. At peace, because we know we fought. There's no value for that. You can't buy that at Walmart. It's not for sale. They don't sell that at Nordstrom's. They don't sell it at Macy's, not Amazon, nowhere online. They sell it through hard work and dedication without anybody seeing you and cheering you on sometimes. That's when this happens. So if you're somebody who is at a challenging time in your life, watch this video again, go through these 8 points, assess yourself, put a plan of action, get back into it, don't hesitate, and play offense. And if you know somebody, maybe it's not you, share this video with somebody you know that's in the rudder right now. They would like to, they're in the gutter right now. They would like to figure out a way to make a comeback. Share this content with them. Move them, challenge them, inspire them. Tell them to get back into the ring again, because they're this close of attaining that success that they always wanted to have. Anyways, if you got any questions about it, comment on the bottom. If you haven't been to the website, go to patrickbaydavid.com right here. Elia, let's put a ring. Boom, patrickbaydavid.com. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, click right here and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.